Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur who is trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to aspire higher and accomplish that dream. I don't ask for any money. I only ask for two things. Number one, please leave me a review. Let me know what you love about the content. Let me know what you would like to hear in the content in future episodes. And number two, please bring me a friend. Pass this podcast on to anybody in your network who has a like mind and who wants to aspire higher. Those are the only things I ask for. With that being said, why is it that people with dreams can never catch a break? Why does it seem that way? It seems that, we're taught to go to college, get a degree, get a bachelor's, get a master's, get a PhD. We go to college, we go to law school, go to medical school. We do these things that society tells us we have to do, right, to be successful. And once we accomplish these goals, once we get our degrees, we go out into the world expecting to find good jobs, good careers, but we can never get it. So as a result, what we do is we start our own businesses, we start our own brands, we follow our own dreams, but it's very slow. We can't get those dreams to catch traction. We can't get our businesses to get off the ground. We can't find funding, particularly for minority entrepreneurs. We cannot find funding to grow our businesses, to grow our brands, and sales are slow because at this point we're nobodies. Nobody really knows us outside of our family and friends who support us. Nobody really knows us, so we can't get enough sales. We can't get enough revenue to grow these brands, so we have to work jobs. And then when we work these jobs, for one reason or another, we get let go, we get laid off, or we might get fired, or we hate the job, so we try to find another job, a newer job. So we have this bachelor's degree, we have this master's degree, we're in school, and yet we end up finding ourselves working at places that aren't necessarily what we envision ourselves working at. There's nothing wrong with working at Subway. There's nothing wrong with working at a warehouse. There's nothing wrong with working at a retail store. But when you look at the reality of it, when you went through all of these years putting yourself in debt, going through school to get a bachelor's, to get a master's, we don't expect to be working at Subway making sandwiches. We don't expect to be working in retail. We don't expect to be working at a warehouse. Of course, we always have to remain humble and be grateful for any opportunity, no doubt. But the reality is we don't expect that. After we done spent all of this money, got all of these loans, hundreds and thousands of dollars in student loans, went through all of this work, we don't expect to be working at where we're working at now. We don't expect to be at this current situation and this current spot that we are in our life right now. We don't expect to be in debt right now. We don't expect to still be struggling after all of that work we put in. Why is it that people with dreams can never catch a break? Why does it seem like that, ladies and gentlemen? Why is it that no matter how hard we fight, we can never get ahead? We take one step forward and we take 5 steps back. And before you know it, we're in the water. And before you know it, we're almost drowning in the water. We don't have no income coming in. We have very little income coming in, and the bills are still piling up. Your phone bill still wants that money. Your car note still wants that money. Your rent still wants that money. It's frustrating. It's aggravating. It's draining to be successful in this world. Whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're trying to accomplish your career goal, it's very frustrating. It's demoralizing. And it's even worse when you see people around you making it. It's not that you're jealous. It's just, why me? Why can't I get ahead? How come everybody else is getting blessed, but I'm not getting blessed? Why is my story still on the same page, but everybody else is 3-4 chapters ahead of me? Why is this happening? And I had to think about this because a lot of entrepreneur friends that I know are going through this. I've went through it. I'm still going through it to an extent. Some of the lowest points in my entrepreneurial journey was when I had to work temp jobs at warehouses. Working 8 to 10 hours on concrete floors, loading trucks, getting dusty in cold and hot warehouses. I didn't go to school for that. I didn't major in broadcasting to do this. I didn't have these dreams of becoming a media mogul to be working in a warehouse. Why am I here? I had those thoughts too when I was working in certain places. I have entrepreneur friends right now that's working at retail stores and working at Subway and things like that when they have bigger dreams than that. They didn't go through all of everything that they went through to be working where they are right now and to still be struggling to pay their bills. So I had to ask myself, why is it like this? And the conclusion I came to, ladies and gentlemen, is this. It's temporary. It's all labor pains and it's temporary. And an interesting fact I read this morning as a side note, since 1997, black women has become the biggest group of entrepreneurs in the country. The percentage from 1997 to 2018 over a 21-year period, the percentage has grown to 322% of black women owning businesses. That's just a side note. But back to the story at hand. I'm not a woman. So I've never given birth and I never will give birth because I'm not a woman. It might be excruciating. They might be going through hell to get that child here into this world. But as soon as they lay eyes on their baby, all of that pain goes away. And they're happy. They're delighted to see their creation, to see this beautiful human being that they created and that they gave birth to. And all of those labor pains is the past now. So in my imagination, how do I translate that to entrepreneurship? All of this is labor pains, ladies and gentlemen, because it's temporary. And see, we as humans confuse the meaning of temporary. Temporary doesn't necessarily mean short term. It can mean short term, but it doesn't necessarily mean short term. Temporary basically means at the end of the day, it's a limited time period. It doesn't last forever. It's not permanent. So the fact that you have to work at a job that you didn't go to school for, the fact that you have to do things that you didn't plan on doing, the fact that you're struggling, the fact that you're in debt, the fact that you're angry, the fact that you're aggravated, the fact that you're hurt, all of that is temporary, ladies and gentlemen. All of that is labor pains. That's what it is. You're gonna be successful. You just gotta keep pushing. You can't stop. Because see, once you conceive that dream, once you done started the journey, you own it. You can't stop. Because if you stop, you're going to be even more miserable than you are now. So you got to keep pushing. You got to keep trusting the process. It's just something you got to go through to get to where you really want to be. Every single entrepreneur that started from the bottom has gone through this. And all of those people that seem like they're getting more blessings than you are, they went through it too. You just didn't see it. Just like most people ain't seeing your labor pains right now. You just ain't see what they had to go through. So no, it ain't that they getting more blessings than you. It's just their time is here. Your time ain't came yet, but it's coming if you keep pushing. Just like women, when they giving birth to their child, they got to keep pushing. They can't stop because the baby is on the way. You can't stop. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep working. So it's the same thing with your creation, your business, your goals, your career. You got to keep pushing so you can see that creation of your dreams. It's the only way. So whatever is going on right now in your life, in your career, in your entrepreneurial journey, no matter where you're working at, even if you didn't intend on working there, no matter how little money you're making, no matter how much you're struggling, just remember it's temporary. It's labor pains. It ain't permanent. It ain't going to be like that forever. But you got to keep pushing. That's what separates successful people from mundane people. Every person who has become successful, no matter what it is, I don't care what they do, the one thing that they all have in common is they kept pushing. They had the endurance and the perseverance to see it through. Most people don't have that discipline. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. The key to keep digging, you don't have that discipline, you're not going to be successful. It's all about the long run. It's not a sprint, it's a long run. Do you have the perseverance, the discipline, the endurance? Are you going to keep pushing no matter how long it takes? Are you going to keep working no matter how long it takes? That's what's going to separate you from people who didn't succeed. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got an idea. But who really going to work to bring it to fruition? Who really going to go through all of this hurt, all of the labor pains to make it happen? That's why only a few succeed. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's temporary. It's not permanent. Labor pains don't last forever. Eventually, you're going to see your creation. You're going to see the fruits of your labor. And you're going to smile. You're going to be happy. You're going to be successful. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality and never stop pushing. Don't get stuck in the mud. We all gonna end up in the mud at some point, but don't get stuck there. Keep pushing. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk to you next week.